The European Union just passed one of the most important laws in American history. Yes, you heard that right. In American history. It's called the Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive, the CSDDD. I know, I know. It sounds like an incredibly boring bureaucratic law, but I assure you, it has the potential to completely transform your life. The kind of car that you drive, the kind of energy that you use, the way your house is built, the jobs available to you. Almost every part of American life is going to be altered by this law, the Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive. And it doesn't come from America. It wasn't passed by Congress. It was passed by the European Union. My name is Justin Haskins. Before we get into the details of this law, I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking about it. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, help more people see this content because this is an incredibly important issue and not enough people are paying attention to it. So if you could please subscribe to this channel, it would really, really help me out. All right, so I'm just going to take a few minutes of your time to talk about the CSDDD. The way it would work is this. Large corporations that do business in the European Union, really big corporations like Apple and Ford and McDonald's and a whole bunch of other companies. If you do above a certain threshold in the European Union of business, then you're going to have to comply with ESG rules, social credit scoring rules. ESG is a term that we use in America. It stands for environmental, social, and governance metrics. It's a social credit scoring system designed to try to get companies to transform society, mostly in line with left-wing values and ideas, but it could theoretically be any kind of ideological idea through these social credit scoring metrics, all right? So in the EU, they created their own kind of social credit scoring system that has to do with climate change and disinformation policies and land use and water use and biodiversity protections, a whole bunch of other things. And they're imposing it on these large companies if they do a certain amount of business, no matter where they're located, no matter where they're from. If they operate in the European Union and they go above a certain amount of business, they have to comply with these left-wing policies. Now, that in and of itself is bad enough because by changing these big companies like Apple and Meta and Microsoft and McDonald's and Ford and a whole bunch of other companies, Cisco Foods, one of the largest food distributors in the world, by transforming all of these companies and the way they do business, you can transform whole societies. And that's the point of this law, to transform American society, to transform Canada, Mexico, China, countries all over the world. That's the whole point of this law. But it isn't just going to do this through these large corporations. It's also going to do it through small businesses as well. Here's how. The CSDDD requires large corporations to force smaller businesses that they work with, no matter how much business they do in the European Union, even if they do no business in the European Union. The CSDD requires these large corporations that have business partners outside of the EU to change their business practices as well. So if you're a potato farmer who sells potatoes to McDonald's, so that McDonald's, and you're in Idaho, let's say, and McDonald's takes these potatoes and they make French fries for them. No, even if they don't sell the French fries in the European Union, it doesn't matter. Because McDonald's is under this CSDDD law, McDonald's has to force the potato farmer to transform his or her business practices. Not just McDonald's, but the potato farmers as well. And a whole bunch of other kinds of businesses get caught up in this too. Truck drivers, for example, farmers of all types, seed manufacturers, and biodiversity, various biotech companies, every kind of industry you could possibly think of. Marketing firms would be caught in this. Just everybody. The vast majority of businesses will, in one form or another, be forced to comply with these EU ESG rules, either directly because they go above this business threshold in the European Union where they directly have to comply with these regulations, or indirectly because they work with one of these large businesses. that does do business in the European Union, and they're going to have to change their business practices, or else they'll lose this huge opportunity to work with a major corporation. So if you sell to Walmart, for example, or maybe you're a rubber manufacturer and you sell rubber to Ford, and Ford sells cars the European Union. And so they're under this rule. Ford is going to force the rubber manufacturer in Ohio, or anywhere else in the world for that matter, to transform their business practices in order to comply with these EU ESG rules. And if they don't, if these small businesses refuse, then Ford will have no choice, or McDonald's or Apple or whoever the big corporation is. They'll have no choice but to stop doing business and essentially destroy all of these smaller companies all over the world. So these smaller companies are going to have to go along with this. And so they're going to transform as well. And through these supply chains, you're going to have a complete transformation of the US economy. Again, the kind of cars you drive, the kind of energy we consume, prices for almost everything are going to change as a result of this CSDDD rule. If you're interested in learning more about this topic, and I highly advise you, I beg you to learn more about it, check out the Justin Haskins channel on YouTube. You can check out the Justin Haskins Show on podcast platforms if you only want to listen to the audio version of the show, on platforms like Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or other big platforms where you can listen to podcasts, and listen to the episode where I break down the CSDD, this EU ESG law, in great detail. There'll be a link to the show notes in this video. There'll be a link available to you that you can watch the full episode and learn more about this. I urge you to do that, and to please share this with other people as well, because what we need is a huge pushback here in the United States. We need our governments at the state level, the local level, the federal level especially, to go to the European Union and say, we are not going to comply with this. You cannot force us to go along with your left-wing ideas. This is America, okay? We don't bow down to you. We are far more influential than the European Union is, and we should not allow them to destroy America's sovereignty. Unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. The law goes fully into effect in just a couple of years, and so we need lots of pushback now. It's already been put into place. It's on the fast track. It's going to happen if we don't do something now. And so we need a wave of grassroots support. So please watch the full-length video to learn the details about this. Share this video and the full-length video with friends and family members. Get more people involved, because if we fight back against this, we will win. But if we do nothing, then our country is going to be completely transformed, and not in a good way. Thank you for your time. My name is Justin Haskins, and until next time, stay free.